Alright, so this is my map I created. It's a warm-up map. It has all different aim trainers and places that you can test your sensitivities on. So to start, let's actually look at my sensitivities, and I'll explain kind of my thoughts, and then we'll go over everything. First, here's my settings if anybody's interested. Some graphic settings. It automatically puts it to 3D resolution when you turn this on, DLSS. On performance, it does it at 50%. I like all this stuff on. I'm trying to get like the best performance out that I can. Well, but like the view distance doesn't really do much for performance, but the textures actually does help with your frames if you have a good graphics card, because it helps do more GPU based performance instead of off your CPU. So if you want to try that, go for that. Here's all my other things. I like toggle sprint off, sprint by default on, sprint cancels reloading off, auto open doors on. That's personal preference, most of it. I would say sprint by default everybody should have on by this point, but some people still don't. This is another personal preference, hold to swap. It's, if you want it, you can do it. All the other stuff is fairly standard. Invert view off, all this stuff is kind of stock. Chord replays, if you can do it. If you can't, and don't. There's all these things. I like my HUD scale at 70. It gives you a lot of space to see the screen while still being able to see everything. The latency stats I like, just so I can see like how everything's going on my computer. I don't really use this too often, but that's what I use somewhat. Here's my main controller settings. So, controller auto run on, build immediately, builder pro on, vibration off. Edit hold time doesn't matter because I have it bound to a different button, so you do you. So build mode sensitivity 2.3 and edit mode 2.6. That's a multiplication of a multiplier of your look settings, which are down here. 33% and look vertical speed 27%. I'll explain that actually in a minute, but usually you want vertical to be a little less, just because it's a wide screen, so you need a little more speed to do it. I'll explain it better when I get into the actual game again. Turning horizontal, so this is where my settings get a little weird. This is pretty low, and it would be too low for me typically. Like I always liked a higher sense, like 45 probably. I was trying out the lower speeds once linear was nerfed by like 50%. aim assist was nerfed by, so I needed a little less. I thought about even doing exponential, but I don't really think it worked for me that well. I like the quick responsiveness of linear. I'll show a chart with the linear here versus exponential. Check that out. Basically what you're looking at is linear does like a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you move the stick 10% or 20%, you're going to activate your movement by 10 or 20%, or your crosshairs by 10 or 20%. Exponential, it increases by a multiplication of like 1.15, I think it was. And like, so it's, if you move it 10%, it's 10 times 1.15. And then if you move 20%, it's 20 times 1.15. So it's very small, and then all of a sudden towards the end it really picks up, as you can see here. So that's the difference. There's no, it's not like a delay or anything, but I go into it in much more detail in another video. I'll see if I remember to put it on the top of the screen, or you can just look for it in my settings videos playlist, and where it says exponential versus linear. This is how I kind of compromise between the two. So look horizontal 33 and vertical speeds 27 is, I guess, it's slow, but I have the turning boost to account for that, because I want to be able to like move around, basically track people while hip firing. But when also like I started playing creative a lot more, and I realized I need speed, and I was doing a lot better against better players when I had a lot, like a 60 by 60 look versus vertical versus horizontal. So I was like doing a lot better, able to build a lot quicker. So I tried to figure out something I could do to do this. So with the boosts, you're adding 30% to your speeds here. So it's when you have your stick fully, only most of the way, it's only gonna move it like 33%. But once you tap it all the way to the edge, you're gonna get it to 63%. and that's what I've been messing around with. These change every so often, like I might lower this like a couple percent, but just to be more comfortable. But this turning boost ramp time gives you like a little bit of cushion, so if you do tap it all the way, you're only going to hit your 33%, and it'll only go up to 60 if you hold it for that 1/5 of a second. So that really works for me. I have this off, but because I like it full speed on these pretty much. It's like there's never a time when I really come close to the edge in building where I don't need the boost, and I can control it enough for like editing small spots like the corners. I don't max out the stick, so you have to have it high enough to do that. And the same thing goes with this. And I'll show you. I've been like up to 30 with these, but now I like it at around 15. So my speed is actually 21% for a ADS for look vertical and horizontal. Like this gives it that very nice exponential feel when aiming. Like the slow, you're able to really lead your shots and track really well with 6%. At least for me. Maybe some people have better control than I do, which I'm sure the pros do. Some of them use like 15, so whatever they like. But I like this boost because while I'm able to track normally, if somebody like hits like a, say an impulse, I'm able to still track them with this 15% boost. And this ramp time really helps to get ahead, like so you don't go too fast unless you need to go fast. So you can mess around with that. And I'm going to show you how to figure out your settings now. Well, after this, look, dampening time, I always put this at 0. I hate it. It's just basically, it's a different version of what I'm actually doing with this ADS boost time. So it basically just puts, I don't even know how long it, yeah, you get to set how long it takes to get to your, what your stick's at. So that does delay it. Linear for now, but this is going to be like exponential sort of. So now move stick, I put that at 10 because I have an Elite 2 controller. It's great, but the left stick for some reason is drifty, so I just kind of keep it like above that. But I'm glad the right stick's actually really good, so I can keep it at 5%. If I like push it down a little, it'll drift somewhat, but it's really good otherwise. But I highly recommend this controller, especially with a Best Buy like 2-year warranty, because they'll just swap it out for you whenever you want, like if you stick drift or whatever. And for controller on 1%, so that is supposed to give you less input lag. I haven't noticed too much, but I think it might help. I don't know. All these are kind of personal preference. I like my music at 4 just because I don't like it loud in the screen, so I could hear people talking. Sound effects at 100, dialogue 100, voice chat 50, cinematics. This is all personal preference. This stuff, the sound quality, I really notice a difference if I don't have it on high. So I like it high. 3D headphones, I've noticed a difference without being able to hear people exactly where they are when I have it off, so keep that on. Background audio, whatever you want. I usually keep it off. Doing all this, and all this is going to be personal to you. So now for the keybinds. If you use the generic controller, you supposedly get less input lag, so I use that. Nice and easy. Looks like a Xbox controller, so everything lines up pretty well. Jumps on my D-pad because I use the paddles again, like on the Elite can do. So I use the bottom right to jump and toggle pickups with the bottom left. And I have the switch mode on my right top paddle, and then build on my left paddle. All right, I think I might have reversed that. I don't know. It's one of those. Crouch I kept on R on the stick, but I don't really like that, but I don't have anywhere else to put it right now. I'll have to figure something out. And place marker on L's, because when I'm in fighting, I always hit that by mistake. So the only thing I would switch that with is if they ever make like a edit on release sort of thing, and I can just do that mid-fight or something. I'd probably use that marker because I don't think it would get in the way. All right, so oops. So now my building, same thing with the pickaxe and jump and all that. Do whatever you feel. I really like having the change materials on my left stick. Place trap on X. Here we have the edit controls. Just have jump, toggle pickaxe, confirm edit. Resets here, selects here. I don't have a confirm button mapped to my paddles, but I don't really use it too often. I usually use the reset and then hit select again, and that will actually act as kind of the confirm button. But what I'm hoping they do is they make it a custom control, so you have select and then make this select also, but make it select and then on release, like it'll do the edit. So you still could do like the old like double edit binds or edit on release, and the same thing here, reset or reset on release. That way you get the best of both worlds. You can do it however you want, but they didn't do that yet, so we'll have to wait. And last but not least, dead zones, no reason for that, and all this, do whatever you want, it's all up to you. First, I'm going to show you how I got my shotgun aim. So I always keep the combat here, and I just do the hip fire. You walk down this, just walk to it, and this let go, and it'll send you down this. And you just practice your flicks. I'm really bad right now. I've been playing a lot of Rocket League. And you do that a few times, because you're probably not going to get it at first, and then see if you get comfortable, and then that's how you kind of gauge how fast you're going to need it. See, that's a lot better. Warm up now. So I hit those last 5 of them. So that's how I got to my setting. Like, that's because I'm maxing the stick out with a flick. So you kind of need to do that. To get like your slow speed, you can kind of use this one, and so you can figure out your edit like quickness. See how you can track with like placement and everything. Because you're not going to use your full stick for most of that. You want to figure out first your vertical and horizontal speed, and then add the boost for your flicks. Because if you find it with the boost first, you're going to be kind of in a bad spot. I'll turn it off and show you. And you're going to have a lot of control with this. I think Gronky actually uses like a similar setting to this without the boosts. Like you can see, you get your feel for it. And then once you add the boosts, it doesn't really affect those movements much, because you're basically, oh geez, oops. Basically doing, you're not maxing out your stick. And if you do it for like a split second, you're not, because of the ramp time, you're okay. So yeah, that's how I figured out my XY axis. Also, this is really where one of the spots where I worked on it for my hip fire. So I go over here and I'll show you what happens. So I'm gonna set this setting to like 47. So like it feels good. Usually like just moving around, it feels great. You try to like follow these guys. It's so responsive that it's like really hard to hip fire. So we'll move it back down to 3428. Kill these guys. And like I would just mess around until I felt pretty good. I'm still not hitting it perfectly, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. That little extra boost really gets me to like be able to get back to him. The AR, I figured out my speed. Like I figured 6% is low, but like most of the time you can get past them. Like this is going pretty fast, and you can still like go ahead of them without. I'm not maxing this stick, but it has really sticky aim assist. All right, that was the best example. Yeah, so it's pretty good. I'm still using that other setting, so let's keep this. But if I like really need to get to him quick, I could do that. So he's up in the corner. I got that speed still. Same thing with vertical. Six is really strong. I like it really strong for aim assist, in my opinion at least. So that's why I like 6, and then like that extra boost does 2 things. First, it helps with your tracking, so you can still move around pretty quickly like this, and you can mess around with it so you get it to where you like. Dang, I just aimbotted that bot. It's funny how sometimes it just like destroys RNG. But here's where this really comes in handy. This is my secret scope sense, because everybody knows a scope. Like, you end up moving like this when you have a low sense, especially. But with the boost, you can move again. And if you put the dampening, like the boost time, you can really get it like to like responsive if you like it. Like even now, it's like still going pretty quick. Like right away it moves, and then you could like do like flicks again. I'm not great at sniping, but the aim assist is a little weird still. But see how it slows down after that split second. Once you get the timing down, you'll be good. So that's how I got my secret scope sense. But it's good for a low sense aim training too. So that's what's cool about that. So now for editing, you just want to figure out what's gonna feel good for you, and so you're still accurate most of the time. Because like when you have like a double multiplier of it, if you max out the stick like this, like you go fast really fast. So you're multiplying 60 times like 2 or something. So you have to get a good balance with it. But it's really handy if you need to like box up like that somewhere. Like you could out box anybody because it's so fast. And then for like say you're doing your 90s, like you're not maxing out the stick usually, like, so it's like that. So you're usually just doing like a small movement. I'm getting got jump fatigue already. I can't freaking build today. So yeah, you do your 90s like that. You're not maxing out your stick. Try these out and let me know what you think, because like I think it's like the boosts are kind of overlooked, because you think about it. Everybody likes to say like the pros don't use boosts, so like they probably know what they're doing, but they're also the ones who like in the early days of linear were like totally against it, even though it was so much stronger right off the bat. They really slept on it, and like I wasn't around during the Builder Pro days. Like I started in season 7, but from what I've heard is a lot of people were reluctant to go from Builder Pro to Builder Pro because they didn't think it was as good. They're more worried about combat. So there's like things like that. Like you can't always trust what the pros say with everything. Like just because they do it, they may be like say when you're trying to become a better athlete. I heard a quote, I forget who it was, but it was like for a college basketball coach, and he said to his players, you could watch Michael Jordan or someone like Michael Jordan or LeBron James play, and they're such like athletic freaks that they could get away without having the best of fundamentals. They'll do things you're not supposed to do and stuff like that. But if you're not that gifted like them, you're gonna ignore the fundamentals and just kind of fizzle out and never really make anything of yourself. What you should do is watch the guys that are next to the real crazy players like MJ and LeBron. So like you could see how to play the game the right way, and like see what, like they put all the extra time to practice their things that they really need to do to be able to compete with these guys. And just like keep that in mind, like when you're doing things. Just because a pro isn't doing what you should be doing doesn't mean it's the wrong thing to do for you. And even for them, they might, like if they actually try, like how many of them actually tried out the boost settings, you think? It could just be they heard it from one of the better players. Oh, we don't need boost, and that's where they left it. Yeah, so that's about it for this video. Let me know what you think about my settings, and if you tried them out. I'd really, if anything, try out the this thing. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to tell you. So I was talking before, the X and Y. So if you look, when you select this is a rectangle, it's not a square. So like when you just look at it, it looks like square, but this is definitely longer this way than it is this way. And that's how like the game's stretched out, like because we're on widescreen. So the speed is faster vertical. That's why I offset my ADS, or my look sense. I don't really need it for ADS so much, but my look sense, that's your, like it's about a 25% difference. It doesn't look like that, but there's like 25% wider than it is tall. So that's what some people are doing with their offset. So you could basically take your horizontal look speed and subtract 25% from it, and that's a good rule of thumb. I don't like it that much per se, because I guess I got used to it. I used to do even, so doing that much was like a little weird to start, but like I definitely feel a little smoother, not smoother, there's no V in that. But yeah, that helped me. So that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Leave a like and comment if you don't mind, and subscribe if you want more stuff. I stream on Twitch actually most nights now, so but my main nights are Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday mornings. It's Friday, Tuesday and Friday are like around 7:30. So and Fridays I usually do stuff with like viewers, so if you join it, we can maybe play some squads or do some more creative or whatever. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Wow, dude. Holy crap, that was a crazy game.
What made you end up having on that?
9 kills.
Jesus, I had one, so we got a 10 banger.
There we go, dude. Holy crap, I was in the zone.
You need a cigarette there, Tom?
I think I do.
Late model cars and paper plates. Hate to say, but I'm too old.